I have no idea the path they took to get here. Why we're waiting on Dave? Minus two bands. Why are we waiting on Dave? Live no mic's hot. Absolutely beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand finals of the Quantex auction tournament. I am Sandbag. Joining me, Mr. Eric. How are we doing? Draft on screen, best of 5 between Wieler and Emmet. Go ahead and walk us through this one because there is a lot of League to be played today.
Fucking hell. Well, look, already we're seeing like the band phase coming out, like the Ambessa and Fiddlesticks. Of course, the Fiddlesticks for Dak and I am assuming. And, that's one of his best champions as well. All the bands seem to, make a lot of sense so far, to be honest, especially for game one. They just want to get out. Like, you still don't want them playing their, even though it is fearless, you still don't want them playing their best champs at the start. And just getting rid of these options. We'll probably stick with these bands for the rest of the series by the looks of it.
Yeah, the funny things about the bans in game one of a Fearless is you're basically just accepting the fact that you're going to be banning this every single first phase. Because if you leave it up by games 2, game 3, game 4, they're just going to slam it, right? Like, you're just going to have to put up with it. So you're just accepting the fact that, look, we're going to be having Ambessa, Zed, Gwen banned out for the blue team, opposite a Twitch, alongside a Mel and a Fiddlesticks for the Wheelers team. And I have no idea what the prio has been after the new kind of shakeup. I have no idea what's going on.
With Jacob, specifically.
I've just like, as we roll through patch to patch to patch to patch, there has been a huge prio on stuff like Xin Zhao and stuff like Trundle, stuff like J4, and then a lot of those got tapped down moving forwards. Varus has been pretty strong altogether. These are familiar picks, all things considered, right? Blue One
Yeah,
Mundo is he's familiar, if perhaps a bit earlier than expected, alongside that Jervin, who again these are familiar picks. Okay, nothing too weird. This is just game one.
yeah, I do think the Mundo first pick is quite surprising because I feel like once you get the draft going, there's a lot of answers to it. There's a lot of champs you can pick into it. Whereas like a later pick phase Mundo, that becomes a lot harder to deal with, especially if you haven't drafted correctly around like anti-tank. But with the response we're seeing, like the Varus, who's very good at shredding tanks, especially if he goes on hit, and as well as a J4 who can lock up the Mundo while he deals with the rest of their team, right?
Yep, absolutely makes sense. Right, sticking him in the Cataclysm. Mundos a lot of times are going to be rocking Ghost. You do have the option, right, if you want to take the Flash, but a lot of times you do want that Ghost for that long chase down play. And if you just dump him in the barrel, EQ out, all of a sudden, while he's not killed, it can still very quickly be a 4v5 or, break up those scraps in the way that you want.
Like, especially late game, then, if you're stuck in a Cataclysm for 5 seconds, the team fight's already over. And if you're just chilling there, well,
Just
they're just
throwing
going to finish you
cleavers.
off at the end. Yeah, they'll leave you
Just
for
hucking cleavers.
last. Yeah.
Maybe not the value you want. Maybe not the value you want, as we do see the Azir is going to be locked in. And an option to get you out of said Cataclysm, anytime that you have mobile carries, Ali with his dash, Azir with his dash, the J4 will always have value because that champion is just useful, but you do always want to have some sort of an escape plan ready.
I'm excited for what they're going to do for the second pick phase. Are they going to give like last pick red to the support? Yeah, the support, or like what are we going to see? Like a blind pick top or like a last pick top here? And I think Azir is also very interesting because that's Azir Hui like seems like a very volatile mid matchup. There's both a lot of like a really high amount of skill expression on both ends.
The difference between hitting spells and not hitting spells on Hui, your floor is outrageously low. If you're not
it's terrible.
if you're not connecting things, you can actually be a cannon minion. after this final ban does come through. And it actually did. Okay, it all does catch up. Yes, it is in fact the Braum band, classic counter into the Alistar. Every time he goes for headbutt Polv, Braum just throws up the Unbreakable, stuns him afterwards. You just end up in a stalemate where Ali can't press any keys or he loses, and Braum doesn't need to press any cues. So that does absolutely make sense pairing up with a Varus. The on-hit, certainly the call in my opinion. And Wukong, the next AD jungler down the line after the J4, after the Xin Zhao. Shockingly, no Trundle. I wonder how you feel about that.
Trundle. I suppose it is quite awkward for either team to pick Trundle in this position. To be honest, I thought Dr. Mundo was going to be a flex, or it probably was a flex, yeah. So now they're choosing to put that top instead of jungle. But on Blue's side, picking Trundle against the likes of Jarvan and yeah, that's a very interesting pick mid. Or where is that? Is
That's
that
a mage bot, brother. That's a mage bot in the big 2-5. Xerath locked in. Just give me your thoughts on that one. What's your gut take?
Yeah, I honestly, yeah, no, I am a fan of it if they can keep him safe. Because against the mobile carries like Varus and Hue, landing those ults is going to really hurt in the late game. But I am worried about the J4 just potentially being able to collapse on top, and then with the Smolder pick now, like if you're Xerath and you're getting Jarvan EQ'd into the Cataclysm and then the Smolder ults following up. Speaking of Smolder, is that a Smolder top?
It is. I was waiting for you to finish your point.
Yeah.
That is a Smolder. Smolder also has a Varus on his team. That therefore makes this a Smolder top, which to be fair into the Mundo, I actually really like it. Okay, don't get me wrong. I hate Smolder. The champion is so obnoxious. He just sits there, autos you, autos creeps, autos you, autos creeps, autos you, and then all of a sudden he has an Elder Dragon. Obnoxious. But in terms of value, Mundo's not exactly going to be trying to blow you off the map, right? So you can kind of just stack into a melee champion all day long, fairly comfortably.
Well, look, even as a top lane main myself, believe it or not, I've actually never encountered this particular matchup. But like my gut instinct is telling me that I feel like it's a very much a skill matchup in the sense that if the Smolder is able to space correctly and scale up through the lane, then the Smolder's going to be very, very happy later on in the game. But if the Dr. Mundo can land his cleavers, close the gap, and get some good trades onto the Smolder, it could very quickly turn into a situation where Dr. Mundo gets his heart steal relatively early. He's just going to be taking towers in front of the Smolder because if a Smolder is weak, he's going to do nothing to a Mundo with like 4k HP.
True. I will say though, I think this matters less about the top lane matchup and more about the jungle matchup. If either J4 can sit there and provide the space for the Smolder to free scale, or if the Monkey King can get up there and really try and shut him down and delay that inevitable scaling, that is going to mean far more, in my opinion.
Oh, of course, definitely. Completely agree with you here. I doubt that either side really wants to play for top lane too hard this game. Apart from the Wukong wanting to shut down the Smolder, but I feel like a lot more focus could be going towards bot lane because early on, I think Xerath is an ridiculously weak champion, and there's just no damage in the bot lane. If they go for like a dive on the Xerath early, or a few of them even, that could open up like a huge win condition for the Varus.
It also is. It's strange, right? As we are rolling into that 3-minute spectator display for the competitive integrity, I'd like to take a little bit of a moment to zoom out a little bit. Because right now I'm looking at double marksman versus double mage and the dynamics that come with that, right? So do you have a lean one way or another?
To be honest, just looking at the team comps, I'm more of a fan of red side at the moment. Just because regardless of if you have double marksman or double mage, it kind of matters what the front line is, like how safe are your carries going to be. And I think red side is just much better with the Braum and the Jarvan rather than the Wukong and the Alistar.
Hang on a second. I've just realized something as I pull stream back up again. It's not Smolder top. They have bamboozled us.
Is it Veristop?
It is Varus top.
Oh my god. Okay,
I've just
well,
realized. So I've played with too many degenerates who are sitting here because okay, I want to defend myself a little bit here. I like Smolder top into Mundo where you can just sit there and stack off his head. Varus top feels like the sharper version of it, where it's higher risk and higher reward. Smolder Braum feels flimsy, I will say. Sure, you have the Braum into the Alistar, but you will just get chipped. So it is going to be this Varus top, and that does color things for me.
I also think that we might have also been wrong about the mages roles and the on blue side. Yeah, I think it does actually make 10 times more sense that Ziggs is the ADC. So
Yes.
we've just been talking for the last 5 minutes about a comp that isn't actually the way we think
It's still the artillery mages though, right? And I'm still looking at artillery mages. Wait, why is there a Ziggs in the... Wait, am I flying?
Yeah, it wasn't that meant to be an Azir?
That's an Azir. Okay,
Yeah,
hang on.
There's just a Ziggs on my screen. Like,
I'm just... Okay, I got out of my car, sat down in my seat, and turned on the stream. I am not prepared at all. Give me a second. What happened to the Azir?
yeah,
What are we
where is
doing
the
in
Azir
game one?
gone?
How are you flex picking between the draft and the... I am stun locked. I'm stun locked. I am completely stun locked. Eric, start him out.
Right. So, yeah, this is a lot. This is a very different situation than what I was actually expecting. I, I actually, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I'm very disappointed that I'm not going to see it as Zerath ADC. I was excited for it. Like, I've never seen that before ever. But now we're going for like a much more standard comp with a Ziggs AP carry, Smolder ADC. So, yeah. Does seem like quite a volatile bot lane. I've never seen this before, to be honest. And yes, Smolder. What is that? Smolder Braum against the Ziggs Alistar.
Smolder Braum, Ziggs, Alistar. That is...
Yeah.
It's for sure. So right now we end up in a situation where we have double artillery mage mid. We have double scaling bot laners, right? Ziggs wants to play for push more than scale, but sure, same concept. He's not really looking to solo kill you. And top lane's got a Mundo. Are we gonna get the LCK treatment of the 0-0-0 at 15 minutes? Because I am terrified of this is gonna turn to a podcast fast.
I feel like if like stakes are high, this is the finals. Although this is game one, so I think both teams do want to try like push any lead that they can and try to like create leads at the same time. So even with the scaling bot lane on red side with the Smolder, I really hope it's a bloodbath early on because there's a lot of rooms for solo kills. Like now that it is a Varus top instead of the Smolder that I was originally thinking, Varus is a lot more susceptible to ganks. And
yes, it's a sharper matchup for sure. And Mundo can actually run down a Varus. But by the same token, Varus actually does damage before the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, the Varus top damage is actually crazy. Let's see the rune setup at some point. We cannot.
Yeah, Blighted Quiver damage is absolutely nothing to scoff at, not to mention when...
We've already...
We
bypass
are
a little bit of
on
an
the Summoner's Rift. Thank you for bearing with us. A little bit of scufferino on the draft and the client, but we're getting warmed up. We're gonna get there. There's a lot of league to be played. Bar minimum 3 games. We're looking for the full 5 to break out the Silver Scrapes. But in the meantime, now that we see them all on screen,
are we seeing a proxy Mundo? Or just that is amazing.
He just hits him with a cleaver. That's bone minus bone plating. Smiley face.
But also mental damage is there as well. Now you've just had a Mundo sitting in your jungles before you even get the lane.
Did he do anything useful with it? Yes. There's a nice word on Krugcamp. Is it more psychological damage than anything? Also, yes, I would say.
Yeah, the bone plating is not really going to matter at this early on into the game. It's mainly just like, yeah, you can't really walk up to the Varus window this early on.
No, you're just gonna sit back, you're gonna farm with Qs as best as you can, as you do see Asher with that trading pattern, right? QE into EE for the Crushing Maw, and then as soon as the passive procs, you're gonna see a whole lot of that. And health bars, I'm gonna argue, are gonna be pretty fraudulent over the course of this game, but wave push will matter so much. If Mundo loses access to wave and just gets chunked under his turret, if either one of these mage mids can roam halfway down the river and start hucking out with that ultimate out of the Xerath, you know, the right of the Arcane, I believe it is. So we do have a potential invade. Dakin level 3, awesome. Also the same. You do have a potential jump on in. Does he find this smite down? Yep, Wolves gonna be grabbed up. Crushing blow spent on the rest of the dogs. Bot lane en route. Booty Twist is gonna be here first. EQ forwards. Headbutt, pull combo spent. Flash over the wall from Awesome as the J4 is forced in retreat. Asher's gonna be the first one here from the mid lane as Emmet has a couple of those concussive blows stacking. Now Asher in a sticky situation, waiting on the E, flashing to the other side. Dakin, E connects. Does he have the damage on the red panda? One more auto will do it, and first blood goes to Hui, and auto claims it. He's more Braum passive stacking, trying to snipe on out with that QW, EQ forwards, auto attack, and it's the Martial Cadence. One more auto, but it's the clone they're hitting. Turning around, Wieler. One more auto will do it, flashing forwards. He does have the stun. The assist from the mid. Feet of Warfare. You wanted a bloodbath, and you'll damn well get it. 2 to 3 in 3 minutes.
Yeah, that was brilliant fight. You know, as I was saying earlier, I really hope for a bloodbath early on into this game because there's like a lot of volatility, but not from the lanes at all. Just a huge fight in the.
It was over Wolves, dude.
Jungle. Yeah,
it was
just
over Wolves. He blast coned in, smited it, and then they just full sent it on both sides.
That fight was looking really good for blue team at the start, but especially with the Ziggs getting the faster rotate than the Smolder, but I guess just the fact that you have a mage who has used up all their spells versus an actual
it's also Braum I would make the argument it was Braum passive as well. Ali comboed in, and then he's an Alistair. Whereas Braum got what 3 stacks of concussive blows? 3 people got stunned up with Braum passive.
3 stuns. That's that's 5 seconds of people not hitting from blue side, right?
Not pressing keys. That's a difference maker for sure. Even if you do have a Smolder as your DPS. And speaking of that Smolder, he's only got assists. It's all Hui. He's going to be accelerated all the way to Lost Chapter. And that mid matchup that we talked about losing control of waves might already start to swing.
Yep. I think the kills on Smolder would have been much nicer. Just looking at mid lane, 2 control mages, there's only so much of a lead you can push out. With
Earthshaker stepping very far up, but Waxy can't really spend much of his health bar. He's only got 1/3 left. Dakin's going to open with that crushing blow, a little bit of armor shred. Earthshaker, does he have any way out? Flash available, ghosting forwards, but they're just going to beat him to death. Autos, attacks, and you can't sidestep those. Earthshaker down for 10 seconds.
That is a very big play on top lane, I think. Just getting some pressure off the Mundo, letting him get a good reset, get the wave in. That is immensely helpful.
Ooh, Emmet so far forwards. The satchel is not going to do anything for him as the last little bit of snot is going to finish the job. And Alistair just wandering too far forwards ends up paying with it for his life.
We're seeing Dakin get jungle gapped by awesome 7-4-3-8. Not something I would have expected at all.
You don't think that was the expected result of this early game?
Not at all, no.
You can blame champs, right? J4 so broken champion. That being said, you're saying jungle cap. You can also flick over to the scoreboard there, right? 3-1-0. He's up and singular camp. I'm going to argue that it was the Wolf camp that he stole away that put him into that lead. So he himself, I mean, it was 4 CS up, and it was the Wolves that he stole. So I'd argue that was the difference maker, no?
I would say so, yeah. That is a big part of like the discrepancy we're seeing between the two of them. Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing how the rest of this top lane matchup goes, to be honest. Like, at this point, the Varus should technically be down, but he's managed to like poke out the Mundo so much that he's still up 20 CS at this point in the game, which is very massive.
I mean, yeah, he's going to be abusing a significant amount of this early game, but he's throwing out
Oh,
that
the
ultimate
all-in.
here. Mundo might be looking to go where he pleases, has that gray health stacking. Earthshaker, do you have an X? He has flash, but the ultimate's already gonna be spent. Here comes the dash, piercing arrow, but Waxy's gonna be walking forwards. This cleaver makes all the difference. Kick goes wide. Earthshaker walks it off. Nerves of steel as now Awesome's trying to cover his top laner. That cleaver, we called out how critical it was. That was the DPS he needed as Emmet's gonna be ghosting in. Flash, pull, headbutt backwards. It's just a 3-man pylon. Play safe, Asher. 3 men jump in, is up in the top lane. Waxy's gonna be trying to fight his way out of a 2v1 booty twist en route. This Mundo doesn't have any legs to stand on. Awesome picks it up, and these junglers are relentless, dude.
Crazy ganks, yeah. I was getting worried right when we panned over to mid lane that Waxy might just be dead from the jungle gank. He has no vision in the river, and yeah, it looks like that exact thing happened. See a bit of a lane swap going on as well. Smolder's going mid.
A little bit of chip damage, yeah. As we do have the supports en route towards these grubs, the classic. Everyone at 8 minutes, right click top lane. Pull up and fight for Ed, and Eddie. Bit of a reset.
How do you
No
think this
one's
fight's
really...
gonna go?
I think the Moon is going to be here first. A 2-man pull from Emmet. Cyclone gets the interrupt onto Awesome as here comes the bomb over the top, and it's just Wukong spin to win. Dakin dashing forwards. He's already used that Nimbus Strike, so he doesn't have another gap closed onto Booty Twist. Awesome. EQ onto a pair. The Crushing Blow doesn't have enough. Giving chase with the red buff, but the Q flash forwards. Dakin gets his man. Earthshaker, remember, no flash from earlier. He doesn't have the dash for legendary spells. Makes him a no-doubter as the mid laner picks up his first of the game. A couple of Dark Seal stacks on top of it. Crushing Maul on Red Panda. The passive procs doesn't have that Spiraling Despair, but maybe a Q auto. Not quite. Red Panda some forced, but remains standing, and you wanted your bloodbath. They are continuing. Kill a minute? That's slow. We are +3 on that pace here is the Zig, just trying to chip out the wave. Stepping away from that Searing Bolt, and one more Q will eventually fish that wave off.
Yeah, we're seeing this is why playing range top, especially something as immobile as Varus, is just quite risky. Even if you can get like an early lead for yourself, that doesn't guarantee that you'll be able to have a huge impact in team fights. As we saw, actually just being able to stick on top of Earthshaker during the fight. Like, there's nowhere to run, especially when you have no flash down. You're playing against a Mundo where you can't even stun him, right?
Not to mention the fact that didn't even take his ghost or his ult. He still has 2 movement speed steroids, and 2/3 of Earthshaker's flash cooldown has already been elapsed. So at this point in time, Waxy can just sprint at his head, absorb his ultimate, and there he goes.
We're seeing it.
Right on cue. Ghost pops, sprint at his head. He heard the call. He understood it, but it's a lot of gray health spent trying to get back to his passive. He's throwing out an ultimate for a top up. He heard the call, he saw the angle, and Waxy gives the donation over to his jungler.
Well, you know, it wasn't all for nothing for Earthshaker. In the end, he actually managed to pick up the triple rose.
True. Flowers acquired here. Is Awesome to be throwing out that Cataclysm on a legendary, but here comes the jungler en route. Does he have the DPS? Mid burst is big. Jungle versus mid left. Second stack of the Cyclone. Asher retreating. The damage out of Dakin is enormous. He's got Triforce. Doesn't have the gap close left, though. Another fear is able to get Asher to safety. Mid for jungle. 7-1-1. Dakin took offense to the jungle gap comment.
Well, he is proven why he is so much what am I trying to say? Dakin is proven why he is the higher elo jungler in this situation. Although Awesome has gotten off multiple very good ganks and good skirmishes, just the experience and knowing where to be at the right times has gotten Dakin 7 kills in this 11-minute game.
Exactly. It's efficiency, right? Anyone can make a good play here. So you might have to hold that thought. Ultimate can be thrown out. Unbreakable does not absorb that one, as Wieler can be doing as best as he can to make it out alive. Emmet's Unbreakable is going to absorb in a couple more tower shots. It is support only who falls. Braum not there, but the Smolder continuing on the minimap in retreat. Wukong was hungry.
Yeah, and we're seeing so many plates taken on the blue side now. Is Dakin potentially caught here?
I think he's clone. Yeah, warrior trickster. That champ is so safe. Anytime you have clone, you kind of just get out of jail free here. You
TP
have
back from Wieler.
Wheeler's TP. I mean, he's just returning back to his lane, so maybe just hitting this wave. It's a tempo TP. I'll give it to him. I'll allow it. And to be honest with you, while we have a bit of a reset, no objectives, and everyone's just going to be clearing waves, I expect no more action. I'd like to take a moment to be vindicated. Oh, that's a huge amount of damage up top lane.
Yeah.
I want to be vindicated for a moment. Smolder top feels significantly more defensible than whatever Earthshaker's performance is right now. Varus top has a 10 CS lead. That is the sum total of his lead. That's it. That's it. He's down 800 gold.
Yeah, the 10 CS lead, the CS numbers look nice. I think it will save a bit of mental. I think that's all. It's all.
He does have his ultimate back again and clones his way to safety, trying to get that unbreakable, snacking up those concussive blows, and booty twist goes down. So much sustain coming out of the Monkey King, as Awesome is going to be finding himself at 1/3 HP, pausing for effect. I'm going to blame the spectate.
This is indeed the spectate. It is not a issue of the stream itself. This looks like it could work out either way here. Awesome is chunked out quite low. But,
I mean, it's Asher. Asher's gonna make the difference. Here's the mid laner en route, spiraling to Sparrow. Just whipped past my window. Asher now forced to back away as Emmet is looking to turn this around. Level 6.
Oh, the flash in by Awesome.
EQ dashing forwards. That's an ambitious send here as Legendary's here once again. The mid laners pile in. Wheeler with a nice little backstep on that first Xerath W. Q as well. Emmet making sure that he has the gap closed, headbutts into the brush, and he might end up paying for it with his life. It's Asher and Wheeler versus Panda and Jerry, but there's no mana to work with. Ziggs doesn't have any spells left. Trying to sidestep the Qs. Another bit of movement from Wheeler. This Smolder is moving on him. Blue suede shoes. The dragon's able to step his way on out of trouble.
Oh, and Earthshaker might be taken.
Yeah, I refuse to get hyped for this. Yeah. You can't make me. Chat, I apologize. No, that guy just can't do anything. No buttons. He doesn't even throw out his ult, his flash. It's just Varus top, man. What do you want from me? Back in, just gonna smite. Just gonna blast cone over, smite it away. Nice and chill here as he's gonna continue to hammer the damage on top of J4's head. This is not what you want to see for Awesome, This Jarvan's bleeding so many camps, he needs an IV, if you know what I'm saying.
Ooh. Very nice. It took me a second. My god. Yeah, this is looking really rough for red side. Like this is one of the biggest risks of playing a ranged top against Mundo. If you're this far behind, he can just run you down and probably die you from full HP under tower at this point in the game.
Yeah, and honestly, we're getting close. And this is before he even has boots too for the actual rundown. He's just rocking some free ass boots here, as Red Panda.
Got the slightly magical footwear already completed.
TPing down to throw out that satchel. Ziggs does not have his blast away, as we do have another pause on the minute. First it was 13, then it was 15. I love Spectate Client.
It looks like a
great piece of software. It is a bug. It will just lock up on the minute, and I fear it might do this every 2 minutes. So we might have to relaunch this. But
it gives us a bit of time to talk about the game state anyway.
Yeah, you know what the game state is? Look to your top lane. That's what your game state is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Mundo goes where he pleases. And we're seeing 6k gold on Mundo, second most fed member of his. Yeah, in this game state, the Mundo being this fed and still being only the second most fed, that is looking very rough for red side. I think they're just trying to make a desperation play here at this point, because all your gold's on Hui, and what's Hui gonna do against a Wukong Mundo?
He's gonna explode, to answer your question. That's what he's gonna do. He's simply gonna explode, because that's the only person they need to press any spells on. It's gonna be Wukong ult, Ziggs ult, and he explodes.
Oh, and we're back.
No, he just rewound it.
No.
Yeah, it was 1458, 59, 1500 locked up. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Spectator. We, tell you what, we're going to cut to a quick break while we get this all untangled. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you guys once we have a reasonable view of Summoner's Rift. Don't go anywhere. See you in a sec.
Oh, we're back. Cool. So what did we miss? Unfortunate indeed. It says the stream is still paused, so I can't see anything on my screen yet. Yeah, your Discord stream, it's not working out. Yeah, can see it now, yeah. Sandbag is...
Yeah, I am here, and we are back. Thank you for bearing with us. In the 2 minutes and 53 seconds that has elapsed, horrors beyond mortal imagination befell the Asher. So what was the prediction? You know what? You know attention span's pretty short these days. 2 minutes has gone by. What was the prediction?
Well...
Asher's gonna be Wukong ulted and then Ziggs ulted, right? That was the shot that I called. Red Panda's ult is on
probably
CD.
Has happened a few
Dakin's
times.
ult is on CD, and Asher's in Death Timer. That guy can play the game for sure.
Yeah, going from 4-1 before the pause to 4-3. It's a bit rough, yeah.
It is tough. This is where I get to throw this to you as the color. What is your angle back? How do you fix this oncoming mudslide that is this blue lead?
Okay, so here would be my plan from Red Side's perspective. We bait them into taking one inhibitor, within the next minute before Baron spawns, and then you get the Smolder to just sit there and stack up, and then hope for a miracle fight where you do not get exploded and you can get out about 10 Qs to kill all the blue team members.
Right. I'll see that idea. I'm going to work with this, all right? We're going to workshop this. What if you give up all 3 inhibs, so that way you have double supers to farm up for Wieler, and then you can stack 6 times as fast?
I think that's a brilliant idea. But in that situation as well, I think what would work out even better is if they got the 6 inhibitors, but then every single member of blue team also all 3 inhibitors to get the 60 minions. But then also blue team also needs to simultaneously disconnect so nobody can pause the game, and then let the Smolder farm up for a few minutes.
Right. So we're going with a give inhib and then DDoS, as Emmet is going to be taking half his HP, and it changes. I'm going to say very little, and yet it is still chunk. Can you click on Wieler here? How many stacks are we looking at? Because we're getting close to...
What's the guess?
I'm going to guess 194 is my guess. 194.
Ooh, okay, you're closer.
170. Okay, he's definitely stunted, but he will likely get it by the end of the game. That's my bet. I don't think he loses this game by the time he gets his execute. Meanwhile, Waxy just demolish proc the entire thing, and he is not going to be taking any damage. Let's wait for the engage from Earthshaker. We do have the artillery going to be throwing out. Rowdy Arcane, Ghost spent, Cleaver lands, auto attack from Waxy. Top dive, baby, Mundo, with the mechanical outplay into the ranged top player.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Really well played by the Mundo. I think that fight could have gone either way.
Yeah?
Could have gone either way, yeah. If the Varus manages to auto the Mundo maybe 50 times in succession.
fully stacks his PTA plus his Ginsu's plus his entire team descends on him. Could have gone either way. In the meantime, what is going to be going the way of the blue team is this Atacon. No one anyone nearby to try and snipe that one down. And right now, we've crossed the 10K mark. Dakin is just brazenly marching forwards. He presses a little bit of an S key for some mind control. Two-man knockup out of the first chart of the Cyclone. Wieler's going to try and flap over the wall. Great Glacial Fissure will buy a second here, but he's already spent that stand together. Booty twist backwards, connecting with the Chains of Corruption here. That unpowered, unbreakable will from Emmet is going to absorb the worst of the damage. It is an admirable defense, though. Lots of spells spent for the red team, but they push them back and lose no one. Dakin's going to be dashing forwards here. Nimbus Strike on in, EQ, huge shielding out of the W. Cataclysm spent, but Dakin's on the other side of it. Adams here to the Ellie. Oop, 1-4-1 snipe down with the W. QW from Asher, and you said that it had to be on his shoulders, and he ain't faltering yet, Eric.
Well, you know, very well. I think that was extremely well played.
Wait, Earthshaker might actually have a little bit of an angle here as he throws out that piercing arrow. W just short, ultimate spent, and the mages turn it back around. They do end up getting the zigs for a little bit more damage here as Waxy marches forwards. Level 15, Mundo doesn't even need the rank 3 ultimate as a sidestep onto that last one. Asher is playing the finest of margins and staying alive. Legendary can't quite connect that final one of the Xerath ultimate spells, and that looked like an execute proc. That might be Wieler on 225, and that felt fast.
You know, this game has been very, very entertaining. I think, yeah, Asher's been playing extremely well throughout the entire course of the game. You know, 2 of his deaths, we actually didn't see it, so they weren't. They didn't happen.
Didn't count.
So,
yeah, it's like a death off screen, right? And you know, in a show, when they kill a character off screen, you expect them to come back.
Ooh, yeah. But yeah, that fight earlier on in the blue side jungle, just like, I feel like red side played that almost perfectly, and still only managed to go 1-for-1 in a 4v5, which I think is that
true
to the game stage that we're currently on.
True, but that is also staying, like, fending off the advances of a team up 10,000 gold and closing it to a modest 8,500 gold.
8.5.
A reasonable, mindful, and demure 8,500 gold. It is only soul point, not soul. As much as we're clowning this a little bit, there is a defensible position when you have Wieler and Asher's damage, right? You do actually have a little bit of wave clear. Until Baron is taken, they can just knock these waves down ad nauseum.
Yeah, Baron is very, very, very dangerous, especially with the Ziggs and the Xerath. Like, the Xerath just makes it so that you cannot stand near your tower to defend it without getting poked down, right? And if you're caught out of position, the rest of the team can just press the go button.
I'm trying to go on a flank here. There's a potential 2v5 if they do.
But he could be caught out himself here. Yeah, gonna get chunked out by the Wukong.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we see Waxy solo engaging.
Waxy's gonna be dashing on in. Knock up here is huge damage from the Wukong and the artillery over the top of it. They have the CC chain as the clone's the only thing gonna be in any sort of danger. Waxy marching backwards with that ghost. He is level 16 now, so he has basic three health bars to work with. Let's be honest here. That guy is not going to be taking damage anytime soon. And the first inhib in your master plan taken. They have taken the bait. Inhib is down. This is Wieler's bread and butter and time to shine here. So they're going to be trying to find engage onto the very same. Dakin down to 1/3 HP. Sidestep onto the Braum Q. Waxy marching forwards. Emmet pulling the trigger. Booty twist in so much trouble. Unbreakable will not be living up to the name as the Ignite is ticking. And they finally finished off thanks to that true damage tick. Awesome taking another cleaver. Emmet dashing forwards underneath the tower. Crushing him out backwards, but the passive won't kill. Awesome retreating to the steps of his fountain. But remember, it's still 4v4. They got their trade back here as Waxy has the Demolish Block. Legendary forced to flash away. The dots on dots, and they burn him down, shut down. Asher holding the line again, what feels like on his lonesome in terms of the DPS. They lose inhib. It's all coming together. They have the super minions. The plan has been fulfilled.
We're just waiting on the quintuple disconnect right now, and red team is back in the game.
The DDoS is the final piece of the puzzle, and unfortunately for them, the piece of the puzzle that the blue team's looking at is not a router issue, but the big purple worm.
this is what I'm worried about. If yeah, going down 3 inhibs, well, yeah, good luck defending that against
There's a
Barkov.
steal though, a potential steal as Emmet's gonna flash over
Potential
the wall and
steal
knock
as
in the brawl. But
Ludicrous goes
remember,
over the
awesome,
wall.
awesome is the only one that matters here. He has the smite. His red panel's gonna be doing his best to zone 4K HP. This is a possible damage here as Dakin's gonna be jumping over the wall himself, throwing out the cyclone, repelling. This is very responsible gameplay.
Bye-bye,
Don't
awesome.
give the 50-50. Don't even give him a chance to watch in person. Grayscale for awesome 7438, and he's gonna be dead for about that many seconds as Waxy marches forwards into the base. Wheeler forces to use his defensive cooldowns. Emmet is the one to absorb that ultimate. Mom throwing out for exactly a whole lot of nada, and it feels like this might be the Alamo here.
Oh, the way ult goes wide, and
Asher retreating, steps defended, but they have no DPS. Dakin leads the charge. Game 1
GG.
going to Team Emmet.
27 minutes. That felt like, felt like the game. The timer went on for longer than the game itself. The game felt it felt super short.
I mean, we did drop a couple minutes here and there, right, with the spectator. So we dropped a couple minutes. But at the same time, the game felt lopsided. Stats would be lovely, but the game felt pretty cursed. And I feel very vindicated on my Varus top hatred. Should have put the Smolder up there.
Just saying. That is very surprising. It looks if you showed me that damage graph in isolation, I would have thought Red Side won that game.
Yeah, but do you know who he's padding damage stats off of? I would love to be able to go and break down how much of that 28,000 damage was Tamundo.
Just in lane, right?
Like you are ranged 80 carry into Mundo. Surely you are just slapping that guy over the head over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. I think that's a very valiant effort from Joe or from Asher. Just in the end.
Honestly, chat, I appreciate that. Good thing Varus banned next game. I agree. I will say that much. There was, especially for a player as solid as Earthshaker, I want to see him on something that he can flex some muscles on. Right? I've seen this guy play. I know he's got more in the tank, and I'd love to see it. But at the same time, this is only game 1. You're allowed to be a little bit silly, goofy, and throw something out because at the end of the day, game 1 is it's an appetizer. Let's be honest with ourselves.
So I'm very excited to see what's to come in this series, especially now that Earthshaker is forced to not play Varus top for the remainder of the series. And I've heard from inside sources as well, Asher was most likely playing the horse anime girl game throughout the entire game 1. So, maybe when he's devoting his full attention to League of Legends instead, some magic might happen.
True. You know what? He wasn't putting his full concentration in. I for one am a big fan of the all chat, and the all chat is going crazy right now between the two teams. But unfortunately, we are going to be cutting to a quick break to get ourselves ready for this second game. Emmet goes up 1-0. Remember, best of 5, so plenty more league to come. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you guys for game 2 right after the break. And welcome back to game 2 of Emmet versus Wieler. Emmet striking first and able to pick that one up on the back of a blue 1 Mundo of all things. The Varus, it was in the game, and that's about all the credit that we can give it. Luckily, this is Fearless, so we will not be seeing that one once again. And Wieler, the losing team of the Bo5, opting into picking red side once again. So you are likely to see another counter pick coming out. We will update you as we have. If placeholder picks are here to bait us, as they were in game 1, I'll try and be on top of that. And
Yep.
it will be rejoined shortly.
Yeah, so I'll fill in for Eric while he's temporarily away. So we are into our first few bands already. I don't know if you can see on the screen. So blue side we have the Zed, the Ambessa, the Gwen. Red side we have Mel, Fiddlesticks, and waiting on that third van. And just, waiting to see what the adaptations are here. The Twitch coming out too.
Same again, repeated. As we kind of said in game 1, if you're banning them, you're just accepting the fact that they don't get them all 5.
Yeah.
You're kind of just having to bite the bullet and just saying, all right, these are our 3. You don't play any of these.
And opening with the Lux pick is interesting.
Oh, it is locked. I was just about to say don't get baited by hovers, but they just slam it. And how do you feel about that one?
This feels like a Red Panda pick, I think, for lane. I don't recall Emmet playing this in support, and I definitely don't think it's a mid lane pick. So yeah, I think it's just a blindable mage for Red Panda, just to have some poke and range in lane and see and kind of go.
And flexibility, right?
Yeah,
you're able to throw it in multiple positions. It's like the Mundo in the first game, and I like a team who's willing to be a little bit more versatile, a little bit more creative when you have overlapping champion pools, especially. And there is a Blitz Crank answer, R1 Blitz Crank.
Booty
that
twist
feels like a bit of a
misstrike.
gauntlet throw.
That is, yeah. I mean, that's a statement right there of intent. He wants to like hook this Lux into oblivion, make him completely irrelevant for the game. We'll see if he gets the roams off too, which I think he will, given that he's paired up with a Sever here, which should be able to wave clear relatively okay. 1v2. Try to like minimize most of that poke. You know, using the spell shield, being able to get the waves away. So we'll see if Booty Twist can make it happen. I'm curious what red side here or blue side's going to answer with here.
You're just so stable, right?
Oh yeah.
You can just chain push the wave. You got a spell shield. You've got ranged Q to try and chip away at those ranged creeps if you want. You're just going to be stable and free up your blitz to go running amok. The Rakan, a reasonable, flexible pick as well, right? You've got a little bit of everything. Got a little bit of shielding, a little bit of engage, a little bit of mobility. Well, an absolute boatload of mobility. But you can do a little bit of everything here, staying flexible, and that seems to be the MO for Emmet's team.
For sure. Rakan's not a champion I'd normally associate with Emmet as a player. So it'll be interesting to see how much playmaking he can get done with this champion, or if he's going to play it more kind of defensive sided, more for the ability to to dodge the CC and then peel for his team rather than be engaged. We do have a blind Mordekaiser locked in here,
and the Olaf slam I am fond of.
Yes.
Not only.
Would you say this is an answer to top, or do you think it's a blind jungle?
I think you always have the option to hit the panic button of, actually, no, I want it here, but I expect it to be an answer to top lane.
Yeah.
I expect this to be a nice Death Realm. Shame if someone were to yell really loud and sprint at your head, as Ragnaroks are fond of doing. However, I tend to find Olaf's far more successful when they have some sort of facilitator, right? Mm-hmm. Things like a Galio, things like an Enchanter, even a Ivern, a combination that you can pair up on that. Something that gives him a little bit more survivability, because you've got the stickiness from the Undertow and the damage from the rest of the kit. Yeah. But you do explode.
The only thing is
especially with the amount of burst damage.
Yeah, the only thing is Asher's definitely not a Galio player, so I wouldn't expect it to see here for red side. At least not.
Sure, I don't expect it to be coming out, but it's just that kind of concept of what are you doing to aid your Olaf, not just sending him in the backlines to explode. You got to give him something to work off of, unless he's disturbingly far ahead.
some more mid lane picks and jungle picks banned out, and the Nocturne's locked in. So it is Olaf top, Nocturne
Yeah, it
jungle.
strangely, I find that strange for them to break their flex now. Like you value mid counter picks so highly
I mean,
that you
based
break
based
your
on
flex.
based on Asher's performance game one, he's kind of really the biggest hope of that team.
Oh,
So
true.
maybe they're trying to set him up for success here, game two. Give him something to really kind of try dominate lane with, perhaps, and kind of pull him ahead early game.
Some
Uh,
sort of high AP carry, right?
yeah.
Because otherwise, the entire sum of your magic damage is Blitzcrank, and that feels rather dubious. As there is a Kha'Zix lock in. If we were supposed to have a slow game one in terms of champions, game two is about to be an absolute massacre. Is the set to follow this one up in a potential pivot?
Oh.
Flexible, flexible, flexible. There's going to be some rearranging to be done on these two teams as they keep throwing these curveballs.
Yeah. So, what is Legendary most likely to play here? The Mordekaiser or the set? Um, I feel like it's a set. Maybe they're looking for a lane swap here, perhaps. I'm not 100% sure where they're actually going to go with this. But yeah, Emmet's side's trying to keep him guessing right now. I feel like Red side is fairly locked into where they're going. Like, I think the Aurora is just going to try answer. I think, yeah, the Aurora's going to try to answer the set wherever he's going. But yeah, Blue side is going to. I think it's going to be interesting how they set up.
Then that also leaves your Olaf and the Mordekaiser, which is a matchup that you absolutely want as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game 2 of Wheeler versus Emmet. Going to be coming to you in just one moment. Those of you who are just joining us, Emmet currently holding a 1-0 lead in this best of 5. I'm still Sandbag, and we are still holding up for the co-caster in the meantime. You still holding it down here, boss?
Yes, sorry, I was temporarily muted. Yes, so apologies again for all the stream bugs and delays and stuff like that. There's been a lot of glitchiness tonight, but right now, blue side just playing defensively, potentially for the Blitzcrank invade. Red side does get a ward here on the blue, so they will have information on where Kazakhs is starting. Obviously, more than likely going to be starting red side, I believe, with how Kazakhstan's clear. But they'll at least have some information on his path, which they definitely need for Dakin after his performance game 1, because he was definitely in the right places at the right time to kind of really turn that early game around after that kind of disastrous wolf invade that set them behind.
With the 3-minute feats of strength complete,
Yep.
or at least the component of the feats of strength. So yeah, trying to avoid that, as we do have a nice little face breaker here from Legendary. But the longer that this trade goes on, the worse it actually gets as you eat autos. And I want to draw your attention up into the top lane, right? As much fun as mid is with the set champion in game, Waxy is Ignite, TP, Conqueror. This man is looking to kill, and kill in a hurry.
Oh, they do get the level 2 on red side first. Is Bo5 going to land a hook? Or is he just going to...
Trying to find the lineup, and it's just going to be a nice little grand entrance out. Rakan, he's always got a couple more tricks up his sleeve than you expect.
Yeah, so fairly standard interactions, I think. Level 1, Silver gets the push, as you would expect. Right now, blue side, boss side really just wants to play defensively, because you don't want to get picked early by this Blitzcrank. Oh, but Earthshaker popping the ghost already. He's going for
the ghost early. Waxy is going to be trying to put some damage back in. He's level 2 versus level 3 and pulls him back in with the E, the Ignite, ticking Waxy! He has the Mundo counter pick and he ignores it. He has the Olaf with the counter pick and he ignores it. This man just pick me whatever, top die.
Yeah, ambitious, I feel like, from Earthshaker to go for that so early. Because, like, the Ignite was available for Waxy, the HP wasn't really there, and the wave state wasn't really there for him either. So, definitely kind of forced that interaction a bit early. And is not looking good for Earthshaker. You know, didn't have the best performance game 1. Definitely needs to kind of step it up for the scene here, game 2.
He also went back to base and bought boots, which is not the most combat stats that I've ever seen on a first spec.
No. Feels like he kind of gets... Oh?
Dakins can be jumping forwards, but the fear tether not connecting. And what were you saying?
I was going to say, seems mostly like he was getting it to just get back to lane quickly, to try get some of the CS he was going to lose, try keep the CS somewhat even. But certainly, yeah, he needs to respect his Mordecai a lot more now, and needs to really kind of bide his time to look for the next all-in.
It also does inhibit some of Waxy's ability to simply right-click you and beat you to death if you have the matching boots, knowing that Mortar's going to pick up his own, so he's not just going to be at such a move speed disparity. But this could be a very, very awkward situation here, and in fact it will be, as Waxy does actually like his chances into the wave, likely to be a freeze here as the camera pans back up there in just 1 second. And if it does freeze in front of Waxy's tower, which it doesn't appear like it was completed, not quite.
Earthshaker
not quite.
just gets away with that. The wave will push back into him.
Dakin's going to be here in the bot lane. Wheeler down to 110 HP, trading back in. Nice hook. There he has the full length, the barrier to absorb the taste their fear. Wheeler has the answers. Dakin down. Beautiful hook out of the Blitzcrank.
Booty twist Blitzcrank. You know, the moment it was locked in, you kind of felt that energy. He was like putting on his big boy pants, you know? So, definitely love to see it. As Legendary, should be fine here.
A level 4 Nocturne gank is not the most intimidating, I must admit. that was about the entire engage that he had. He
Yeah,
kind of
more or
walked
less.
in a straight line and threw it a tether. So
Yeah.
back into the jungle for him. No harm, no foul at the end of the day. But that is Dakin's flash. Remember, he tried to make the best of a bad situation, at least go 1-for-1. So that is a lot of the playmaking early on. And now Nocturne, he breathes a big old sigh of relief. He's going to be uncontested on his way to level 6 as a nice hook lands here. His booty twist doesn't have the damage to follow it up. Ignite
Wheeler's a
ticking,
little bit
the
low.
shielding out of that W here. Prismatic barrier. Wheeler does not have the range of the boomerang blades, so booty twist hook ends up actually only being an empty summoner spell for the Blitzcrank spend.
Yeah. So he's just trying to put some pressure on, but didn't really have the kill threat, as Wheeler was kind of too far away, plus with the HP low.
Level 6 and into Brazil. The Ignite's going to be spent early. One more flashing away. Doesn't quite get the passive
Gets
ticking.
level
And now
6.
Awesome is en route. Here comes the Ragnarok. Undertow. Lots of damage shielded up from that W here as the tower shot is not going to be able to kill. Emmet canceling the recall, and he does get the auto off. Comet. Spell shield. Wheeler is able to survive on a sliver. Here's now Waxy's in some trouble. Dakin just leaving his top laner to die. He's finishing off the Gromp. In the meantime, they're diving your top laner. Flashing away the tower shot. The creeps. Awesome lives. Dakin en route. He's going to be throwing out his dash on an Earthshaker. Ghosting his way to safety. Awesome has no escape path. Scufferino, Toporino, 2-2. One more kill will be these feats.
Yeah, absolutely. Dakin picking up the kill there on Awesome at the end. So we'll get something back for that earlier spent flash bot lane and the failed gank. So yeah, both sides feeling quite even at the moment, kind of going back and forth. But as you said, Awesome
He's got W.
Yeah, it's fine. Awesome is ticking up towards that level 6, so we might see more plays once Nocturne does get to that point. As Booty Twist kind of trying to put some, presence into the lane, put some pressure there, with the possibility of the hook, but holds it for now.
He's just posting up, just trying to, as you said, exert a little bit of a stance. It's more of just kind of denying some creeps rather than actually throwing out that ultimate here. So we do have ourselves another momentary freeze.
Yeah.
And
is this gonna need
spectator.
I think I might just have to exit. Oh no, never mind.
Right.
Hopefully that's the only one.
It's only the ones that if they freezes on the top of the minute, that is a bug. As we do have that ultimate thrown out here. Full Lux Laser spent, and it does get Blitzcrank's passive, so he doesn't have that last little get out of jail free card. Booty twist, push backwards.
Yeah. So both junglers taking over to level 6 now. Nocturne hovering for the potential gank. Is spotted on vision, will clear that out.
That's
in the
paranoia
meantime,
too.
It looks like the Mordekaiser is starting the grubs. And
Not only is this man starting the grubs, this man is outright taking the grubs here. He's autoing them all down, splitting his damage amongst the three, trying to work his way through those grubs, and with Legendary there to assist. The solo laners end up filling the role here. Is also going to be absorbing it with the spell shield, but here comes the Lux's damage. Two-man bind, doesn't even need the laser. The strobe was only there for a little extra effect. 2 kills, Drake, and the bot lane row making such a big impact.
Yeah, Blue side getting every objective across the map there. Kills, grubs, and dragon all in one go. Very nice plays, very nice plays. Definitely using the lead Mordekaiser as top lane at the moment to kind of take advantage of that. Does drop some CS to get those secure those grubs, but I don't think he'll mind too much.
Considering he's still rocking a 10 CS lead, plus a Drake, plus some grubs, plus only about 1,000 in the gold lead, but it is still a lead nonetheless. Yeah, I don't think he's going to mind that too much at all.
No. Right now, Asher has a very substantial CS lead in mid. Oh, about 800 up on Legendary, but again, right now, Legendary helping secure those grubs. I think is looking more to just be a meatball later on in the game for his team, so it's not going to be too unhappy with how things are so far in the state of this game.
I think he also understands what his purpose is, and that is just to absorb for Asher here. As Waxy might be in some trouble. He does have an ultimate to throw out. Be careful of that spell shield, though, if you throw it a little bit too early, taking his chances with the jungler, but the Fear Tether connecting here. Awesome's going to flip over to level 7. Huge damage, throws out that W as a whole lot of shielding. I don't think he has enough damage to get through. Awesome! Good kiting from Nocturne. He doesn't just stand and bang, he waits. He stalls out, and the downside of no ignite, of having the ignites, no flash, and he ends up falling for it.
Yeah, absolutely nice plays, but he is being
He's
tracked
on
by
in.
Dakin.
Dakin's gonna be trying to jump on in. He does simply one shot, no spells left. Awesome. Down and out. Earthshaker might be the recipient of a 2-man gank here as Emmet ghosting. Earthshaker sees it coming on that ward. He's gonna try and slip his way to safety, throwing out the quickness. Remember, Ragnarok available. He does throw it out. Chucking on a little bit more damage here. Emmet sliding away to safety with the battle dance. There's not a whole lot to be said. To Valhalla he will go. Earthshaker falls once again up in the top lane.
Yeah, again, just well played, well tracked. Accelerating the lead here. And returning the play that Austin made top lane with 2 kills in return. So again, Dakin kind of showing his kind of overall experience so far in dictating the game. And yeah, keeping a very healthy lead for blue side.
Opportunity plus T2 boots and a Dirk on top of it. The sum total of the tankiness that's been purchased is there might be a bit of a collision course here. Is Emmet's gonna be kicking himself off an early 2v3. Here comes the ultimate out of the Blitzcrank, absorbing with the spell shield, but they doesn't have that tool left. Dakin got the auto attack damage here, unstoppable. The Cossack has so much damage. Waiting for QCD. Red Panda ends up the recipient of the last hit. And that's just never a fight you can take. Look at the jungle items as up in the top lane. It's gonna be Earthshaker doing battle up here with Waxy, chunking him down to half HP himself. A couple more axes and a nice little backstep, throwing up the emotes. But look at the jungle items. Yeah. We just called out what the Cossacks was sitting on. Versus not even 1 for this poor Nocturne.
Yeah, it's nearly a 2k gold difference just in jungle alone. So yeah, Dakin definitely showing why he's probably considered the best jungler in Ireland. Like, no real competition coming close at this point.
And the sidestep, Earthshaker ends up flashing away, waiting for that undertow to be picked up once again here as Waxy is now going to be taking a whole host of damage backwards. The Olaf turnaround counter picked to fruition. Earthshaker gets one back. Dakin simply removes head from shoulders. Asher doesn't even spend a flash of their own, but that's a glimmer up here in the top lane. Olaf might be getting something cooking.
Yeah, and if he wants it to continue, he really has to kind of accelerate these and like punish the Mordecai as much as possible. Because the game is on Dakin's end is spiraling out of control. Kazakh's very, very dangerous for anyone he runs into right now.
And the worst part is, for the side of Wheeler's team, there's not even somebody you can send in to go try and mark this guy.
No.
Like, normally you just say, you know, send your tank, mark him as best as you can, keep him out of the fights, and, you know, cover those flanks. But are you going to look at your Blitzcrank to go do that?
No.
Are you gonna look? Hey, Olaf, stop what you're doing as your counter pick in the side lane and just come deal with this bug here. And the bug might be finding him. Earthshaker, no ult. Earthshaker, no chance. That is a 3-man top gank as the ultimate's going to be thrown out here from this Lux. Red Panda chunking him down to about 1/3 HP down in the bot lane. And the Olaf likes his chances in a 1v1. 2v1 is a maybe. 3v1 and absolutely not.
Yeah, again, they're just trying to punish Earthshaker as much as possible while the ultimate is down. And make sure that he can't get out of the dodge. Meanwhile, Red side has started the dragon here. Dakin is hovering for the potential steal. We'll see if they can secure. They are outnumbered 4v2.
Is going to try and mark here in the hook. Connecting a little bit of a lollipop there. 1600. Kiting away. Down to 800. Is going to be putting his damage onto Booty Twist. Here is forced to flash back into the pit here. Legendary waiting on the flank. Has ult. Has flashed the flank from Red Panda. They're collapsing on all sides. The walls close in. The knock up onto Awesome. Nocturne down. Base breaker in. Booty Twist is just going to be punched to death. Throwing out a haymaker. Asher sidestep in the sweet spot. Red Panda doesn't connect with an ult of their own. Here comes the showstopper to the other side. Asher's going to snap back between worlds. Flashing forwards. Doesn't have enough damage onto Legendary. The 2 carries. Trying to put a couple more shots in, but Red Panda's healthy enough to stand and bang. Dakin on the flank, going invis. Q auto will likely simply kill just in time with the spikes. Wheeler flashes forwards, but gets bound up. Doesn't get the timing right. Double kill to the Kazakhs. 10-1-3. This bug is running amok in the bot lane.
Yeah, and they only lose Emmet for all that playing, so like They'll absolutely take that. They are in a commanding lead right now.
Nothing of value was lost. Hello.
And with that, I shall dip out. Welcome back here.
What an opener. Nothing of value was lost. Welcome back, sir. How are you feeling? You're in for a treat once you open the stream up, sir.
I didn't want to interrupt your brilliant casting with Dave, so I've just been quiet for like the last 5 minutes, but it's been quite a game.
Just sitting back and taking in the circus.
Yeah, I've been here for but like I was like, after this play, I'll say something, and it just play after play, and
trying to find your moment here is Olaf sniping that with an undertow, by the way. For those of you wondering why the eye can't be picked up, he's going to be running back in and gets a 1-for-1, but doesn't get the eye pickup, as now Bo5 just going to be trying to find his own. Nocturne Paranoia lining up for the Luxes. Snipe down on in. Bo5 trying to find a knock up all his own. Awesome's absolutely not where he wants to be, on the wrong side of town. 1-6. This poor Nocturne. He's got nowhere left to stand, is now going invis, has the cloak, and has the one shot. That's 2-item Ka, and a very dead Aurora. Eric, welcome to the circus, my friend. It's just going.
Yeah, at least Awesome, he did manage to pick up the Herald. So, he got something back from that play.
True.
What happened this game early on for the Kazakhs to be this incredibly far ahead?
There was a Drake contest, kind of. Dakin got a random double kill, and then he kind of just started queuing people for their entire health bars. You see a little bit more of that up in the top lane, taking a tower shot just for funsies. The E is not going to be quite enough range. Earthshaker throwing out a couple more of those undertows, and yeah, it's simply just a bit of a snowball here. Is the TP from Asher. He's gonna be trying to find his way onto Dakin. Does he have the execute? No dots available. S-key, and Dakin makes it out. Asher fully committed forwards for it. Nothing left for the retreat. Aurora down once more, and it's just a mop in bucket in hand. 2 more into the coffers of this Dakin rampage.
I hate to say it, but I think the game might be wraps. We're seeing like, what is that? Like a 7k gold lead already, and it's only gonna keep getting bigger. They've just Asher has just blown so much to try to get the shutdown on Dakin to no avail, and now they're just after losing bot tower as well. They've got nothing going on. Like how do you think? Okay, my turn to ask the question. How do you think Red Team can claw this game back?
Yeah, I mean it's Sivir. That is, you have to hope and pray for the 400 CS Sivir, and just try and stall. And I don't think that's going to happen in very many of these worlds. Awesome simply failed once more. That ain't your jungle anymore, unfortunately. Earthshaker does have flash and R. He can commit either one at any point. He's going to be turning a little bit more damage onto Dakin. Gets half his health bar. A reasonable defense here, pushing him back, but that is both of those big tools. Throwing out the ultimate, and Lux doesn't find the snipe. A long-range ultimate here is a little bit of movement here from Bo5. He's hunting this hook, but I'm not even sure it's lethal if it connects.
We have a Sivir taking tier 2 top. That's very interesting.
I mean, it's what you have to do. There's a 0% chance that you win even fights, so you got to just try and get out into the side lanes here. So now Legendary's going to be trying to give chase, throwing out that ultimate spell shield, not in time. The reflex check will not be passed, but maybe a little bit of DPS here as Legendary's going to be trying to just beat him to death, waiting for that haymaker. Beats him over the head with the grit bar. That is the mechanical prodigy himself, Legendary, getting the outplay.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, as blue side, what could he even do other than going for really risky plays? If he does end up getting the tower,
it's overloaded. He might have another attempt at something. Waxy and Emmet can be linking up in a 3v2. You do have Lux coming from the left-hand side of your screen on the minimap, but it will be blue owning the pit. You're recalling on a ward here. Blitzcrank doesn't have the information, and he's flashing away from the one member out of the frying pan into the fire. Waxy's going to be setting that one up for Red Panda. It's a perfect game for the carries so far. 202 and 608. Set and Lux unslain.
Yeah, perfect for the carries, and also a one-dead Kazakhs, who I did see.
I would say, okay, I understand. I typically say carries because that's your mid and AD. Those are typically carry roles, right? But if there's going to be someone carrying this game, you know, the carry of this game, I mean, it is Dakin. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, Dakin's been playing extremely well, even since I've gotten here. Well, he's only picked up only one kill since, but you know, it's adding to his.
Paranoia. It's a 2v1 potential top. And remember, no haymaker. Set's already spent that one. Now he's going to be trying to throw an ultimate for a gap closer, but he already flashed in to do it. And right as we say perfect for the mid laner, he's going to find his first gray screen of the game. Emmet trying to give chase with Waxy. These two linking up bot lane, now moving up into the top lane to do the exact same thing. Quickness is available, but he doesn't pull the trigger. And to be fair to him, I agree. I don't think he has to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, at this point, no point in going for a flip. You don't see the rest of red team.
Yeah, what are you fighting for here? Is Dakin's jumping into a 2v1 situation. There's no isolation here. There are allies en route as they have the Herald knock up.
He just cannot forwards.
Move. He can't press any keys, and the Lux ult not quite in time as Emmet's gonna be chased down. He battle dances his way back over to the marksman and dashes on in. He's got that E-charge if he wants to slip out one more time, but I think it's going to be timing out. Now the autos fly. Wheeler's trying to put a little bit of damage in, but it's only 2 items. Sivir, Spell Shield, Absorbing the pull. Earthshaker with 200 HP to his name and a very hungry Legendary dashing his way on into this fight. Running on in. Waxy picks up Earthshaker. It looked good for a minute. And they did get the first of many bounties, and yet, how much does that actually close the gap?
Not by too much, but you know, it used to be a 7k gold lead, and now it's only down to a measly 6k. So they've managed to claw back some part of it, but now the Atakan looks like it's going away, unless. Why is that resetting? Am I looking at that wrong? Is that resetting for you?
Yeah, I have no idea. And there is going to be TP in from Asher, who is successfly stalling out into one shot of Legendary. Didn't expect it. Doesn't get the W off. And Asher, once again, the bastion of hope here is going to be throwing out an ultimate onto Emmet. It's a quickness of his
Asher,
own.
don't get caught.
But here comes Stack and another one shot up for Asher. Trying to find that twofold hex. Pull back, lock it, heal. Asher is out, and here comes the hook. They're engaging 3v3, but the goal does not stand in their favor. Dakin doesn't even have to commit. Waxy gets the dirty work done. Killing spree to the top laner of Emmet's squad here. Asher is clawing and scratching every single bit of this lead back, and it's still such a mountain to climb.
He is kicking and screaming, trying to not let blue team win game 2. And we saw the same performance the last game with his way, trying his absolute hardest to 1v9 against all odds. Ooh.
Oh, these poor mid performances here. Asher, every time that you send spells and you use everything to get it off, and then you have nothing left, it's so difficult because then you have to try and rely on the DPS from the other side lanes, and they just don't have the gold behind it right now. So you got, again, looking at Sivir, 3 items are slowly chipping along here. Atakan gonna be a done deal here as here goes the quickness, knocked in the air. He spends more time in the air than on his feet, waiting on that haymaker, but the gap close is not there. Legendary simply just gonna throw it out and absorb it with a spell shield. Two-hit snipe, and Lux gets some. 2 birds, 1 stone. Red Panda puts a flourish on that one as they look to barrel down mid lane.
And this is the point in my solo queue games where I would say, where is my jungler? Unfortunately, Awesome was not part of the fight, but is there a big difference?
He's in your base. That's where Awesome is. He's trying to find some sort of farm of XP, of contribution, but unfortunately, he got a couple of Void Mites. And that's the most recent camp that he's touched in what feels like the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Down to full 70 CS, it feels extremely rough.
Yeah, 10k gold lead, 20 kill lead. Drakes are 1 on the side, so they don't have to worry about a soul quite yet. They'll at least be able to visit Baron when he pops up, and as the spectator is so cruelly highlighting with the gold flash, 13.5 to 7.3.
Oh, you don't see that very often at all, and it's a testament to how good of a player Dakin is at making these leads and then extending them as far as they can go, right?
Yeah, just exacerbating every single possible wound. Drake is effectively going to be a freebie here, as Asher can't just hop out anytime that they so wish, as you do see that. Yep, trying to play a little bit slow here and throwing out that
Is Emmet
ultimate.
potentially
Emmet's going to be full
overcommitting?
sending here. Awesome jumping on in, waiting for that haymaker and sweet spots onto both of them. Half HP for Awesome and Asher. Here comes the showstopper. DPS.
Massive.
Awesome does win that auto attack battle, but here comes Waxy. Ultimate thrown out. He's going to run out of road, sidestep onto that first estimate here. Knock up from Emmet. That'll dance his way on out. Just got one more charge. Here comes the sniper of the Lux, and the already falling Dakin hops out with his own gap close. Wheeler escaping Earthshaker en route, but he's in a 4v1. Cue the music. Ragnarok in Sonic noises and cut it short. That's a record scratch. Earthshaker wanted to swing for the fences, but absolutely nothing but air. Drake secured.
That camera movement by that camera movement. I thought there was an
allowed. A little bit of jitter. He got everything that he needed to. There's not much contesting to be done, so you may as well show the base. You know, a little bit of architecture, a little bit of
of course,
just checking on the map. You know, yeah, exactly. You gotta press some keys. He's gonna toggle over to the team. Throw out the team fight overlay with the A key. You know, just you can mess with the zoom. I don't know if League Directors installed, but you could get a little bit of first-person view of Wheeler getting his head blown off, because he will actually survive it. Not a one-shot. Dakin's a fraud. He had the full commit for it. He didn't get the full one-shot.
Flash and the barrier. And
but
there's nowhere, but there's still nowhere to run. It's just very sad.
No songs. This is one of the most fun things that you can do in League as a jungler, is to have this ridiculous lead where you can just right-click forwards. If you get a full send on this one, Asher's trying to sidestep his way away, but there's no escape. Booty twist simply hooks more in to simply end it faster. 4-0. Emmet is looking to push himself to a 2-0 lead in a match point, and the last Bo5 I cast was a reverse sweep. But you're going to have some tricks up your sleeve. Base broken 27 minutes in, and they're looking to get this one done quick. Wheeler is available, trying to clear the wave as best as he can, but Dakin will not allow him to even sniff the minions. Godlike for the Bug King. Awesome will fall. Waxy will wreck the rest of the base, and it's 39-11. Panic stations for Wheeler. They're farming them in base, man. No mercy. 28 minutes. We're looking at a 2-0.
Yeah. What a 2-0. I think that was just a great performance from Dakin over the last two games.
Dakin's feeling it. He sees the eyes on him. He's the type of player to rise to the challenge. And
oh my god, that damage graph.
49,000 was the damage inflicted that game. And that wasn't a Mundo that he was hitting, right? There's no Scions, no Mundos, no Orns that you can be like, oh, I was so useful, guys. I did 30,000 damage, and then 28,000 of it was, Mundo passive. Those were squishies.
That's a rough game. Oh my god.
Those were squishies into a lethality champ who is accelerated.
Can we have confirmation? Who did more damage, to Rakan or the Nocturne?
It's Rakan.
That is very unfortunate.
Rakan did more damage than Nocturne did. I mean, but when you have no camps to farm, what are you supposed to do? You're a Nocturne.
Yeah, like the gold lead itself speaks volumes there.
You just don't have camps. Every time you go to check anything, it's just down. You have no gold, you have no damage. You're not exactly a very reliable disengaged champion on Nocturne, so I don't even really blame him. He kind of just couldn't play the game without his gold, and as a result, we're looking at a reverse sweep situation if you're Wheeler. And for a grand finals, you don't want to go out like this. You got to have something locked and loaded to take a game here, and I would love for Wheeler to just rally the troops. What do you got left?
That's what you need. You need to put all the stops down, right? Because Dakin, although he's been playing exceptionally well, maybe these are his only two good chaps.
I also don't want to obviously Dakin gets the credit because he's the flashy assassin, but Lux was managing to connect at minimum 2 people every single time that laser threw out. And that laser was on like a 4-second cooldown. He was getting the lineups.
That Lux ult is crazy late game.
He's landing them consistently. Top lane is simply disregarding the counter picks that are being thrown his way. We're gonna say brushed off the Varus top, you know? We're gonna be tasteful about this. He simply brushed off the Varus top. In game 2, he got his lick back. It was a back and forth battle, but he still was able to hold out against what is a pretty rough matchup thanks to that Ragnarok. Despite the fact Hexplate wasn't bought. Yes, chat, I am watching. I would have loved a Hexplate too. But
Did he play
you gotta
second?
pull out all the stops here. If you're... What are you saying?
Did he?
I don't believe so.
I thought your man bought Hexplate second there. Or
Did you buy it? I saw Brambles.
maybe I'm just stupid. I'm hallucinating. Maybe.
I don't know. Spec, can you double check that one? I might be hallucinating.
Yeah.
Was there a Hexplate purchase in that game? I didn't see one.
There was one by Nocturne.
Nock had one.
Nocturne had one. Yeah. That
Was
is
it-
unfortunate.
Mord didn't have one though. Can we confirm?
Ward did not have one, but he did actually have a pickaxe in his inventory, which I thought was very fun because this is the first patch
the
that
80
Mordekaiser Q. Yeah, exactly. I think there's so much like fun things you could do.
All right. We have word in our ear. Wieler has once again elected to move red side. Give me your take. If at first you don't succeed, try again. What do you think of that?
Yeah. Try again. Exactly. You know, as they said, the famous saying, "Third time's a charm," right?
I like that. I was gonna have a different famous saying. You ready for this one?
What?
Do you know what
Go
the
ahead.
definition of insanity is?
What is it?
Doing the exact same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result.
Maybe
I
we will get a
fe-
different result.
However, it is fearless. It will not be the same thing. Same side, sure, but not the same thing. You do have the option of a new draft, clean slate. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm gonna be unabashedly cheering on Wheeler's team here. Don't go out like this. Have something left in the tank. Wheeler, Emmet, what do you got for us?
It's that famous like Winston Churchill quote about not going into the night quietly, and I really hope Wheeler's team really pull something special out right now.
I'm absolutely looking forward to it. We're gonna have a draft in just one moment, and you've been able to see a little bit of these teams, right? What is your shot call? What are you hoping is going to be the thing to turn it around? Because all the momentum is going one way right now. Everything is just Dakin, engage, whatever. He has the Wukong, he has the Kazakhs. The Trundle is still available in terms of these 80 jungles that are menaces to society.
I think
what puts a stop to his reign of terror?
See, I think it's quite difficult when the star player of your team or the enemy team is in the jungle lane, because if for instance Dakin was a top laner, it'd be a lot simpler. You could say, oh, we're gonna play a really safe tank top, just get by. We don't even try to interact with him, right? But when he's in the jungle, he could be everywhere at once, which does make it a lot more difficult. If I was red team right now, I would say, look, Dakin's going to be playing all these carry junglers, trying to get his team ahead and just trying to win the game. Sort of, I would say last game was definitely a what a feeling performance, right? And what would you do? I think it's just like, what would you do? I'm trying to think right now.
Gears turning, dude. I can feel the gears turning of how do I navigate this, and then going,
Well, okay, here's an idea.
All right, talk to me.
Play through one of your solo lanes, because I think that Asher, first of all, has been playing very, very good, very good the last 2 games. He's been putting up very valiant efforts to hold his team in the game, even at a 10k goal deficit both games, right? And he's a very very sound player. But I also feel like Earthshaker could be a very good opportunity to play through as well. I feel like he hasn't shown his, these have not been his best
translation.
games.
Pick a human champion, my brother.
Well, look, that's the less nice way to say it, right? But Varus and Olaf, these are very situational champions, in my opinion, and they're not really 1v9 machines in the sense that you can't pick these champs and expect to win games if the enemy team has good cohesion. Maybe if you pick something. Oh, here we go. But yeah,
Yeah.
the same bands I'm expecting. But yeah, so like play through Asher or Earthshaker much more heavily. And you
Mm.
could maybe even like just give up bot and say, look, we're gonna pick something scaling that's useful. I do see a bit of that in the Sivir that was picked last game. But maybe something like here, maybe even Seraphine Zona, and then just try
Oh, in the
turbo
big
buff
25.
in the big 25 exactly, and try turbo
Sarasota.
buff the mid and top lane.
I'm gonna downvote that one. Not because I don't think it's ineffective, but because Sona Sarah lanes, I may actually fall asleep on broadcast. Unashamedly. Prod will just pull the plug and save me for that one, as the draft is going to be developing as we expect. The same old bands from games 1 and 2, Zed, Gwen, and Bessa, alongside Twitch, Fiddlesticks, and the Smell Blue one, Viego. Dakin's got another AD champion that he can pop off on.
Kiana.
Wieler, do not let him do this. Rally the troops. We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them on the river. Kiana Lock-in, that is what we like to
Kiana
see. Do not go
Nautilus.
quietly into that good night.
But yeah, just as expected, we're seeing Dakin with another very, very hard carry jungler. And I think the first pick is very brave here, because
I mean, he's a bit of a jack of all trades type champion, right? He does a little bit of everything. You're never mad to have a Viego on your team. You like to have the burst to get the resets, but Silas Viego
Wow.
combination.
This is a very, very strong pick comp already from the side of blue team.
It's also so many melees. This is gonna be an in-your-face bully you type of comp coming together, and
I'm seeing
I'm
a
loving
Waxy. Sorry, not Waxy. I'm seeing a. No, that is his name. Yeah, the top laner for blue team. I'm seeing a Sejuani top right now.
Malfight. Malfight slam. We are in grand finals and we are rocking with Malfight, pun intended. Eric, how do you feel about this?
You know, I'm gonna wait for my response. Once I see what they lock in here. It's the Syndra. Okay, I'm not a big fan
Of the Malfight or the Syndra?
of the red team draft so far, right? We're seeing a lot of champs that just want to go in. And
Right.
if you're picking Syndra into that, I feel like, how can you play the game, right?
Just scatter the Malfight forehead.
Just scatter the Malphite ult. Exactly. We're seeing so much engage right now. Like, granted, Syndra should, in theory, have a very strong late into Silas. I have no. Is that a Kiana jungle? Or, like, I don't think it's going to be a blind pick Kiana top anyway. Like, this just looks very rough. But I guess we have to see what the rest of the draft looks like, right?
I'm excited. Come hell or high water, there will be fighting and it will be fun. So I don't even know where to break this one down because everybody's gonna be pulling the trigger all of the time. It's not like Kiana Nautilus want to play like zone control spacey type of game. So Silas Viego Malphite must close the gap. Nautilus wants to close the gap. The bans are going to be coming out to finish out this draft with Jackson Darius taken away from the Wheeler top side. And on the other one, Victor and Rel to round out these ban phase. I have no idea. You're probably picking AD. Syndra. We've seen Mage's bot lane. I'm expecting an AD blind here, but
I
who
could
knows?
definitely see another mage bot lane here. I think the Victor ban is, of course, for the Victor APC, since we already have the solo lanes locked in for sure. Kennen is very interesting. It definitely does make the Malphite lane a lot. Like, Kennen is a champion that can generate leads against Malphite, and of course, you do counter his whole shtick of one to stack armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Senna.
I'm just processing as we go along. Senna Swain.
Ooh, that is a nasty team comp on blue side.
The bot lane completion. How does Syndra play this game, sir?
That's why I don't like it. That's what I was saying. I was already not a fan of the pick without seeing the bot lane, and now that I see it, maybe the only person on the enemy team you can do any damage against is the Senna, and she's going to be playing 2 screens away with her infinite attack range.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the Jinx.
I will say, this game is going to be a barn burner. I have actually no idea how this comp would play out in a vacuum up against each other, but the way the Emmet team has been playing, I expect a lot of right-clicking forwards. And Wieler, they have the R comp. Kiana ult, not ult, Syndra ult, Cannon ult, even the Super Mega Death Rocket's no slouch, and then once she gets her reset, these are going to be mosh pits with the melees jumping in and everyone fending for themselves. How do you feel about the Jinx into a comp who wants to just send on your forehead?
I'm going to say good luck. I think that's all I can say. Because, like, looking at the comps, right? Like, imagine going into a late game Drake contest, and you have to not only dodge a Malphite ult, there's going to be a Silas who's going to try gap close on your head with a Kennen ult stolen, and there's also going to be a Viego lurking. Meanwhile, you can't really hit anybody because there's going to be a Swain that's too tanky for you, that also has a threat of CCing you. And then there's a Senna who can just go invisible and hide his entire team. Like, what's there to play around? I'm really finding it difficult to see how the Jinx can play this game.
I mean, reset, smiley face. That's kind of facetious, but also kind of legitimate. A random pick from literally anybody. A random Kiana ice stun. A random not hook. A random Syndra scatter plus ultimate. And she gets excited. All of a sudden, she just has 600 move speed to start slipping this melee engage. Sure, Malphite, right? That is inevitably going to be a problem. But if there is an error made, then that is your opportunity. But it does feel hard because you don't have the agency.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like Kiana's very much an Earthshaker style champion. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe there could be some shenanigans with the Nautilus pick, because Nautilus did get a massive jungle buff this patch. What if it's a Ken support?
He did. I forgot he got shanned. I don't know these teams. I can't trust them.
This is what point. Sorry, go on.
I was just saying this is what I get for not being prepped in time, sprinting back home, and right. I'm not even gonna analyze individual matchups. I'm just gonna take the teams as a whole, because this is going to be the League of Legends equivalent of when you're a kid playing with the like little action figures and just smashing them together to show that they're fighting. This is a smash them together fight. Swain, Malphite, Silas, Viego.
They're two sides of the same coin, I feel like, because they're both pick comps with resets. And I feel like it's going to be really interesting, because I feel like if one team gets a lead and hold on to it, they might be able to just roll over the other one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at the blue team's wave clear.
Their wave clear is a bit lacking.
In a world where they have lost the lead and they are forced to defend a siege, well, Senna Q? Like, are we going to say Swain Q with a straight face is your wave clear to stop the D push? That is just completely catastrophic. However, can you build that lead?
Okay, so this is interesting. I was unsure whether it was going to be Senna ADC or Swain ADC. Now we can see the names. It is going to be a Swain ADC.
With Emmet on the Senna.
Emmet on the Senna, of course.
Malphite on the Legendary, Dakin on the Silas, and a Waxy on the Viego. Huh.
Wait, so it's a Viego top.
It's a Viego
Silas
top.
jungle, Malphite mid.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah, we're in for an interesting game. Holy fuck.
There's like Nautilus jungle shenanigans, Kiana jungle shenanigans, Kennen IDK. I'm just gonna let the chess speak for itself, to be honest with you. I'm so don't let my tone of voice. Okay, I feel like I need to wind that one back. Don't let my tone of voice fool you. I'm stoked, but I am flashbanged to try and navigate this. I just want to get into Summoner's Rift to start picking this apart because they're just forbidden from playing champs in the expected roles, it would seem.
This looks fun. This just looks
It's going to be so much fun, and it's going to be an absolute just mosh pit. Every single Drake, every single Grub, I expect there to... Because there's no way of slow contesting, right? It's not like, I will poke with Ori Qs. Israel will chip damage. It's just going to...
Yeah,
it's just going to be Malphite flying in, Kennen flying in, Kiana flying in, Viego flying in, Silas flying... Like, everyone's just going to be pressing keys and fist fighting, and it's going to be so much fun to try and navigate.
Okay,
as a play-by-play, I got to get warm for this one. This might be a stand-up type of game, dude.
Oh my god. We're seeing the lane swaps with with Earthshaker and Awesome.
Earthshaker's in the jungle and Awesome's in the top lane. Oh, it just gets better and better. Even chat's joining in on the moshing as they're also somehow fist fighting over silver threes. It's just something in the water, dude. There's just something in the air.
Ooh, I think it's a hot weather getting to everybody. People are delirious because of the heat stroke. That's what it is.
I cannot wait. Give me your thoughts on the TP Ignite Viego top lane versus Awesome 7438's Kennen.
I don't like it. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not an expert on the Viego top, believe it or not, but I don't think that Viego as a champion functions extremely well without Flash. And I think you're playing with TP Ignite, which is it's good, and I think it's good in this situation where you're getting ganked and then your jungler counter ganks you. And I think that might be about it. Because later on in the game, without Flash, you're not able to get these Flash W picks with the stun, and you're not able to dodge key abilities. Because at the end of the day, Diego's a very squishy champion who needs to get his resets, right?
True. You're trying to play for those souls, trying to pick those up for sure.
Looking for a game to capture.
Yeah,
words have never been said.
We are running into a smidge of technical difficulties. Thank you for bearing with us. We'll have this up and running as soon as possible, but it wouldn't be a League series without Spectator being the worst piece of software. The only way you could possibly make Spectate worse is if you put Adobe on the front of it. If it was a Adobe Spectate client, that is the only way that you can make it a less functional piece of software, to be honest.
I am a Spectator hater. True and true.
That is so real. My ops consist of Vanguard number 1 by a significant margin, and then Spectate number 2. Because at least sometimes Spectate doesn't work.
Please share your experiences with Vanguard. Why are you not a fan of it?
It blew up my PC. It turned off my... So when it first released, it thought the MSI, like Dragon Force, the like BIOS thing, was running in the background as an illegal, undesirable piece of software. So it turned it off, and then my PC proceeded to hit 96 degrees because it shut down all the cooling in my computer.
That is really funny.
So I had a blue screen of death that said a thermal shutdown has occurred. And then I had to make a bit of a substitution because Vanguard blew up my cooling system. And Vanguard is just not a good piece of software. I don't like people listening, So that's my small tangent. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about why Vanguard is the worst piece of software I've ever had to install to continue playing. Legdens, thank you for waiting. There's no problems. Anything down the line, we have fixed Spectator client, and I'm sure the players are ready to go promptly, right, guys?
Hopefully.
Right, guys?
Hopefully. But yeah, that was a very interesting speech on Vanguard.
I hate Vanguard,
I
dude.
can't say I've had too many issues with it.
Only on
Other
release.
than-
It's been good ever since. It's only on release. It was doing funny things, but it was like bricking people's PCs and stuff.
But I suppose it is one of those things, right, where you put your trust in Riot Games to make sure Vanguard acts the way it is supposed to, and then if you get like unfortunately inconvenienced by it, that is going to be a long-lasting memory that stings for you, right?
Absolutely. Trusting Riot Games is something I will never do again. And yet, here we are with our favorite video game of all time.
Exactly.
Legion Legnans. I'm gonna just take a small aside here as we're waiting for Earthshaker to reconnect. Chat, how do we feel? Do we get a game 4? I don't think I see predictions up on my screen. I have chat open. Is there gonna be a game 4, yes or no? By how much? Was there any holdouts? $70-25.
So what's the other 5?
$70-25 for sure add up to 100. Trust me.
The other 5.
Oh hell no. There's an oh hell no. Okay, there's some holdouts.
Yeah.
There's some holdouts. Doesn't look like it though. But yeah, the tension. This is actually just an elaborate ploy. Earthshaker's doing us all a favor. He's simply letting the moment marinate a little bit. Just letting it build. Coming down off the high of game 2, settling in, because this is going to go full 5 games. For sure. So we can't just get too hyped up too early.
I think at the rates with these stream delays, we'll be here until 3 a.m. casting the game 5, and I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, that's true. These delays are definitely encroaching on our broadcasting. Yet we must soldier on through. We have a reconnect. I see a reconnect possibly. I'm not entirely sure. Prod, can we name and shame, or is that too much? I kind of want to name and shame.
We should name and shame. It's more fun.
Who's on the hook for the DCs? Jungle reconnecting or top?
Earthshaker. Ooh, okay. So I've gotten an inside scoop that Earthshaker is actually logging out of this count, and it is now T1 owner who is playing.
T1 owner gonna be logging. You know what? That checks out. Pause is here. We will have a quick stutter. Do not get spooked. There will be a stutter. Spectate just does this. Yeah, there it is. All right.
Oh, what's that?
Everyone, nobody panic. Nobody panic. All right. Easy. Settle. There will be a bit of a pause here as we do have Asher with the Jinx skin.
Yeah,
Asher.
very interesting all around. A double lane swap. And I think Asher might not be long for this world.
Oh no. 5 people are play the Jaws music, Prod. We need the Jaws music. Do you walk forwards? Do they walk forwards for this ward? Who flinches first? This is a game of chicken. Bit of a staring contest. Who flinches first?
You know what? I think both teams playing quite smartly there. When you are against Nautilus, of course, you want to stack in the bush to make sure that you can counteract or invade, right? And red side rightfully expecting that and not going forwards.
Yeah, just a holding pixel brush. A little bit of shallow vision. You have the classic Raptor ward that's going to be pinging on out Dakin on that Silas. Will end up remaining in the jungle, so it will be Silas. Piloted by a jungler, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the champ that Freak outright said would be ridiculous in the video that he put out. So I'm expecting big things from the Silas prodigy himself.
Ooh, Asher immediately getting chunked out, level 1.
That's a scratch. He still has his pot. It's not a full chunk out. You know what? I'm also just going to say this. I'm going to be an unabashed red team supporter right now because I do absolutely want a couple more games here.
Oh, definitely.
Just to spice it up a little bit. So if you're ever like, caster so biased, I am outright cheering for a couple more games. So, yep, that will be my one and only warning. As we do have Nautilus just make a little bit of a jaunt to try and space out. And I am very curious to see how this top side of the map works for the blue team, though. Waxy and Dakin piloting inverted champions. I want to see how this goes because these are the recently changed. When I was talking in the very first draft about the shakeups, this is kind of what I was looking towards.
Very interesting champions indeed. And I'm also very interested in the top lane matchup. Of course, Diego top hasn't really been a thing for ages, and now with the new change this patch, it seems viable again, and I'm interested to see how it does top lane against the Kennen.
Yeah, against the Kennen of all things, you do have awesome walking forwards trying to proc up that E forwards and does connect with that nice little passive stun. It's been so long since I've seen a Kennen as well. Like, this isn't just Viego up in the top lane. I don't see that many Kennens. I don't know if your experience is different.
No, I do think it is definitely a rarer champion to encounter these days, but it's somewhat welcome. I am a very big fan of the flashy teamfight engages with Kennen, but sometimes I feel that lanes can get quite boring, where it just ends up being a farm fest.
You just try not to get harassed by the Kennen dodge cues as best as you can.
Yeah, exactly.
I made
Legendary completely out of mana.
Yeah, he's unfortunately quite and at half CS of the Syndrome. So that's not where you ideally want to be here, as you do have a nice little stun from Awesome. And Dakin scouted out in time. He had the move speed from the E. Wave is heading the wrong direction. Actually, a little bit of impatience, I'd argue. Because the wave was headed the wrong way, and he could have just held up and maybe had a look top.
Yeah, definitely. I think if that wave kept going, or if Dakin waited a few seconds, yeah, Awesome is just caught in a terrible position. But to be fair, Dakin does need to get back to his spawning camps, and we do see Earthshaker invading him on his Raptors.
Buddy Twist hooking forwards and ending up at about 1/3 HP. Earthshaker just recalling the rush. I don't expect anything more to be happening
could be a fight here.
As there might be a collision course. Actually, take that back. Dakins runs headlong into Earthshaker, not able to connect with that stun. Scout of the Week is going to be slipped as well, as Dakins avoided both the big CCs. Does he have another one of those Kingslayers waiting on that W cooldown? Asher's going to be here first. Dakin doesn't have the health to work with his Earthshaker's flashing away from Legendary. Going invis, trying to find a little bit of a stall here. The auto attack, but no mana for the Seismic Shard. He can't be queued. Booty Twist is able to pick up Emmet on the bottom of your screen. Legendary's got no mana to work with. And Wieler slowly, meticulously peppering with first strike autos, gets him with the mage auto.
Feats of Warfare, claim for red team.
5 minutes into the game, and they are off to a whole lot better of a pace as the Nautilus hook is for sure pressed. Connecting on a whole...
Maybe these lane assignments were what they should have gone with for the first two games. This is going
Equinox, you're so right, bud. Game 4, baby. 5 minutes in, call your shot. Speak your truth. And for the record, I do have chat open, and it is absolutely momentous. Maximum yappage is occurring, and I'm so fond of it. But yeah, in all seriousness...
Game 4.
In all seriousness, that is a significantly better look here, especially towards that mid lane.
Oh yeah, definitely. I that was just a brilliant fight. I think I think that was all on the back of Earthshaker, who managed to bait out the Silas flash and just survived the fight on a sliver of HP.
Which is funny because the fight kicked off with Dakin having 2 nice dodges. So you thought that he'd have enough, but unfortunately, Silas Jungle just didn't quite have the juice early enough.
I suppose we're seeing the weakness of the Malphite mid now, which is that you're not a high damage champion, and where ordinarily you would have a mage. Suddenly then the Malphite, once he throws out the 2 abilities, he's done for the rest of the fight, right?
Well, I mean, he couldn't even throw out 2 abilities, right? He walked up, he pressed his E key, and then he had no mana to work with. So he couldn't even, because he would have queued. If his Q was on, like, mana available, he absolutely kills theirs. We do have members descending bot lane. Level 6 Legendary. Malphite with some bad intentions. You see this one developing, but Emmet might be dead before he comes. He doesn't have the arrival time. The schedule was lost in the mail as there goes the unstoppable force here. The trade kill, but diving underneath the tower. Earthshaker's gonna take a
Earthshaker
pair of
taking a
tower
bit
shots
low,
for
but
his troubles as
no
Legendary
more follow-up.
gives chase.
Dakin walking back into
No
bot lane.
mana, stepping away from that W. Dakin en route. Level 5, though, doesn't have that hijack quite yet. Earthshaker does have his own. Trying to play for a little bit of bait, slammed into the wall. The burst is there, it is baited and outsmarted. Earthshaker gets the outplay. Legendary doesn't have any mana to work with. No health follows suit. You pull back in, throwing out the barrier, but not quite enough. Trading out from the scatter alley-oop. Wieler's able to get one back of their own. 9 kills, 7 minutes. That's the pace we're looking to keep here as the Drake is next on the chopping block.
They will be picking up the Drake as well, and yeah, this is looking like a very different game from game 1 and 2. Now it's red team with a very firm lead at 7.5, or closing into 8 minutes now, and they're holding a comfortable 2.5k gold lead.
Comfortable 2.5k gold lead and first Drake of the game. They're slowly starting to accrue some leads, and I'm looking towards this mid lane. We had Asher perform in games 1 and 2, but not able to get it done. Maybe Wieler can step up to the plate and actually get that one across the line. Granted, we'll temper this. Still early days. Kennen is still down 21 CS in a range versus melee matchup.
That is quite surprising.
However,
but
Malphite has 30 CS in 8 minutes.
yeah, very much. It's very much.
With no mana purchased.
You're down 20 CS top, but your mid laner is double the enemy mid laner. So, is it really that bad at the end of the day?
You know what? You win some, you lose some.
Exactly. And yeah, I will say though, even Asher
Talk
on
to
the
me. Talk to
ADC
me. You
role,
thinking out loud here. What's the What are you analyzing?
I'm just looking at I'm just looking at both teams right now. I'm very surprised that this Herald's being given over, to be honest, or not Herald, the Grubs. Considering their lead, they should definitely try to fight this.
Yeah, first Grub is the only one taken so far. So Nautilus is going to be launching his way on in. Popped up with his own ultimate. He doesn't even have available to him as there's going to be a
also with the
hijack
flank
on
and the ult.
in. Slammed into the wall, and Earthshaker's trying to turn this as best as he can. Here comes the Slicing Maelstrom onto 3. Earthshaker and Awesome trying to find a bite back, but they don't have anything beyond the front load. It's going to be a 2 for 2 traded on out, but first Grub still going the way of the blue team.
Or is it?
Ooh, Earthshaker might be a little bit too cheeky. He
We
does
do
have
see
his own
Waxy.
flash and smite. Remember, this is a 900 smite. Might be able to blast cone his way on in. Ends up
see,
sending it
Legendary's
and
with
snipes
no
it down,
ult,
but
okay.
Legendary trying to wait for a little bit more of reinforcements
Legendary
here
got
as
here?
Booty Twist. But do you have any engages? Earthshaker
not
doesn't
enough
want to do
damage.
this all on his lonesome.
Jigsaw
Superman
comes
Death
out,
Rocket
but
splits
was
the uprights. It's going to be 2 to 1 in terms of Grubs. Blue comes out just a nose ahead, but still swiping one away. Earthshaker understanding his limits.
I'm curious. Do you know if you take 2 out of the 3 Grubs, does that still
It
count
gives you
towards
feats.
the feats?
Correct, it does.
Ah, that's interesting.
Feat of Monster Slaying, if my memory serves me, and it still does give it to you.
That's interesting. You can't just steal away one.
Spec, can you press your Z key and pull that up? Because I think it is Feat of Monster Slaying. Pull up chat for a second. Doesn't show it, because we're not in game. Never mind. I'm noob.
Very
No,
nice.
it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I just couldn't remember what that. I think it's Feat of Monster Slaying. Anyway, yes, it should still give it to you here. And meanwhile, Nakin is going to be locked onto.
Wheeler's
on
using his combo.
camps. Wheeler's combo has been spent, and Malphite ultimate not quite up, but still a whole lot of auto attack damage onto Wheeler. He does have a flash, so this will not be lethal as long as his fingers are in time, but he's still going to be pushed out and probably forced to TP. His Booty Twist might not be able to stand there with Dakin en route. Root connects. Emmet finds his jungler, a route on in. Maybe a slam into the wall here, pulled to the other side, and it's actually an anti-synergy here. Booty Twist goes down. Dakin able to get paid for that one. Now Asher forced to flash away from the oncoming Red Panda ultimate. Earthshaker, he's dead as a doornail in his own jungle, and back to regularly scheduled programming. It's blue team marching on in. Up in the top lane, Waxy gets a solo kill. It's a little bit dizzy across the map. 17 kills, 11 minutes, and currently proxying in the bot lane.
If you're at a Malphite here, do you ult the Syndra under tower?
Could. I'd argue shouldn't, but could.
I agree.
Boil on sight got me. Yeah, unfortunately, Earthshaker's not having the game that he wants. 6 assists. There it is. There's the
Oh, the
flash, and that's the
away.
ultimate you're talking about here. But Dakin is
Combo
having
back,
thrown
Dakin
out that
dashing
abduct,
in.
abscond,
Does
not
not
able to
connect.
connect on those chains here. Earthshaker en route, flashing away. Legendary, waiting for the next set of combos, and it's a shutdown to Earthshaker. Can't be talking about Patty like that. He's on the board, baby.
Let's get his first kill of the game, on top of the 6 assists he already had. Maybe this will get him to the spot where he can carry.
But now at least he has a K in his KDA, you know? It's the little things.
We can get a few plays bot lane as well, right before they go down. But yeah, as well, like,
Ghost.
I feel like this
Red
hasn't really been,
Panda
like,
marching
stated.
on in. He's connecting with that E, and he has a Ghost. Remember, no ultimate quite available. He doesn't have that Demonic Ascension, but I don't think he needs it. Asher's got a barrier to stall for a moment, but the Q pierces straight through the heart of the blue hair. Asher down, not follows suit. 2v2 kill in the bot lane.
You can really see the strength of the Senna cloak there, where you can't see the Swain with Ghost until he already is on top of you.
Earthshaker
And Emmet
trap
looks like
laid
he
in a
will-
very important pink cord. That is worth the 75 gold every single time to be able to survive that potential jump scare.
Yeah, Earthshaker realizes worded and
Yep, it is worded. Items are going to be completed across the map with the exception of that Senna. As soon as she presses her B key, she'll have her own first items. Fairly standard. I wouldn't say anything, you know, Proto Belt for the jungle. Nothing too abnormal, I will say. One thing I do want to call out. There is no spellbook in this game, and there is no exhaust, as Awesome might be in some trouble throwing out the Slicing Maelstrom, but an auto attack will kill him, and there it goes, Waxy. I was just about to say Awesome didn't have to contend with an exhaust here, as the ultimate's going to be thrown out from Legendary, not lethal, but still chunking. Awesome doesn't have to contend with an exhaust, which as a Kennen, that feels like a relief. However, he is still down 35 CS. And a couple assists.
We're seeing, like,
and a lot of plates.
yeah, like this is I feel like this is we're seeing the top melee versus range dynamic once again, where if you're the melee character and you can get ahead, 9 times out of 10, it's a lights out. Like, what can the Kennen do if you get caught by the Viego at this point in the game, right? Like, Viego's already completed his Bork. He has the level lead now as well, and he's just going to set check you. There's like no outplaying.
There's better numbers in the 3v1. Dakin is able to get his assassination, but can he find his exit strategy? Locked up with the passive autos, throwing out that ultimate, but maybe going for a little bit too much. He doesn't throw the ult on the Dakin. Earthshaker can't kill him. Silas is able to slip to safety. Emmet with the reinforcements, dashing forwards. The Protobelt snipe out. He's able to get another kill. Nautilus is going to want that one back.
Well, earlier when I said there was a 2k gold lead, it has now flipped to a 3k gold lead for the side of blue team.
And look at the bounties. Bounties mounting. 300, 150, 100, 100. It's everyone except for the Malphite, which tickles me a bit more than it should. Red Panda is able to finish off that bot tower. The only person here to take a look is this Nautilus and Jinx. Not quite in range to try and follow up. Remember, no ultimate either, so I'm not expecting anything here. Maybe Red Panda is going to be forced into his ultimate, but will likely be able to walk this one out. Emmet is here on route, going into that Demonic Ascension. Doesn't have the mana to work with. Here's connecting on the route. Does he have the burst damage? Red Panda has Emmet in his pocket, and he gets the job done. Baited in again. That's a second 2v2 kill, and Swain stalks to the moon.
Yeah, it's going to be very rough for the Jinx for the rest of the game now. Like, the Swain, as soon as he gets to this point in the game, he can start speccing into these really tanky health mage items. So like Leandri's I'm expecting, or Rylai's. And at that point, then they're just too much of a health bar to eat through as a Jinx, and you're going to find it very, very difficult to get your resets off.
He just full bought a Rylai's.
Oh, well, okay, you know.
You just 0 to 100 full water
Well,
allies.
Good luck to
Right.
Jinx. That's all I will say. At this point
That's
in the
tough.
game, yeah, at this point in the game, maybe if you full combo with Kiana, Syndra, and the Jinx, you can kill the Swain. But
And unfortunately, the shotgun comp needs to kill on their first shot. And I fear they might be trying to hunt Moose with some birdshot here. So you do have the Viego stepping forward, slicing Maelstrom on the 2, but it's Emmet here to reinforce, going out that piercing darkness. 2-man knockup. Legendary has the alley-oop, and the dunks fly through. Double kill to the top laner. He's liking his chances in that lane. Waxy 4-0-3. Meanwhile, trying to defend as best as they can in the mid lane. Waxy has been counterpicked 3 games in a row on the blue side. Waxy does not care, did not ask, plus and ratio as Asher simply throws a back massage at Red Panda. Super Mega Death Rocket drops Booty Twist down 300 HP. Doesn't get the Spider-Man to the wall, so he will die on the steps of his base. Asher must deal with the Nautilus. He must deal with a Malphite. Emmet flashing forwards for a little bit of sauce here. Maybe a bit too far. It's 2 kills back over, but it's still 3 going the other way as Awesome dashing on in as best as he can. Move speed doesn't cut it. No ult available. Bit of happy gaming here, I'm going to admit, for the blue team.
ooh, this is a very rough game position for red team right now, and you know what? No, I have my faith in red team still. I think Wieler is going to hit these 5-man scatters right into the cannon ult. And at that point, the fight might be won.
And does a 5-man scatter into a 5-man cannon ult even win that fight? I'm like kind of joking and kind of serious. Can you kill?
If the entire red team is also in position.
Oh, if Emmet is caught, maybe there's a chance to win this fight before it even begins. Here's Waxy to be jumping into the backlines. Wheeler's forced to flash away. Booty twist. The Vanguard will die for his team. A 1-for-1 pick, but with this goal disadvantage, you can't ask for a whole lot more. But there goes the follow-up. It looked good for a second, but they turn on one half of the pincer, a sidestep onto abduct abscond. But here comes the chase down. Viego walks into cannon ult, disregarding the damage. They had a moment, a glimpse, a flash of hope, only to be snuffed out all the crueler base soon to be broken.
I'm quite sad. I wanted red team to carry that lead on. Unfortunately, they did not manage, but maybe it is still turnable. And as I say, maybe
Demonic Ascension spent. Maybe a chance in a 4v2 with Legendary's ultimate not on cooldown. It's gonna be a nice bit of damage here on the Dakin.
Very low.
Ripping him back on in. Legendary tanking up forever, though the Sacrificial Lamb spying space, even though the reset comes through. Connecting onto Emmet once again, but doesn't get the passive auto attack, so isn't going to find the root. Dakin 300 HP, forced to dash away to the right-hand side of your screen. Syndra on the flank, trying to collapse. Does he have the movement speed to get on in? Booty Twist will simply die once again, but can he get any value out of it? Scatter, pull back onto 3 with the E. Dakin dashing on in towards Awesome, connecting with 2 chains, the Kingslayer, Kingmaker. Wheelers has a scatter onto Emmet and gets his 1v1 win, but Dakin's topped himself up in the meantime, and he's going for blood. Asher's no mana, Asher's no chance, Asher's no allies, he will fall once again. Wheeler's down to 200 HP all to their own, channeling out the recall, so it will not be any further aggression. They're barely holding on to whatever scraps they can, but their inhib does live. In the meantime, we do have a lull. We have a gathering. I do believe my co-caster has DC. You with us, bud?
I think you're right.
You think?
There
Repeat that.
is a world. There is a world. Jinx has the IE completed, a 50% crit, and a pretty decently strong auto.
Cinder down. That
Cinder
is
down.
your AP damage, unfortunately, because I don't think Cannon's going to be carrying the brunt of this one, as Emmet will be on the receiving end of both a hook and a zap. Maybe an ultimate flying on through. Earthshaker, can you get on in? Slam to the wall with that full power
Let's get the kill.
unleash. Ultimate gets it. It's a 1-for-1 trade. The assassin getting into the backlines, but now Asher, he's got only Awesome left to assist him. The full send 3-for-1. They do get Emmet, but at the cost of the whole damn farm, Eric. 22 minutes in, base broken, and they do have waves at their back. 7 seconds left on Wieler. Do they go for the full-on rush? It looks like they're going to send it on in, slicing Maelstrom out of the way, but he's stunned before he can fully get there. Ace complete. They're looking to get this one done in a hurry. I don't think Wheeler's got anything left to say about that one. How much more convincing do you want? Weeks and weeks of battle will be climaxing at this moment here. Legendary autoing out the turret. Wheeler down. Wheeler falling. His empire crumbling. Double kill to Dakin. The man of the hour here. It's a 2-man pull back in. Not even safe on the steps of their fountain. The reset will come through. Jinx can only get excited for second place. GG Emmet. That's a 3-0 sweep in grand finals.
What a series. I think we've seen some really, really spectacular plays from Dakin. And I mean, he, in my eyes anyway, he's just hard carried his team 3 games in a row. All on 3 different archetypes of champions.
That answers the question of who are you giving the MVP to? Are you just going to give the nod out and out?
Oh, I mean, like, easily Waxy, you know. But
Hey, give the man his flowers. He did his top lane duties of blind pick top, win lane anyway, throw up an emote, plus LP. This was Emmet able to just rock and roll on in some happy gaming, but absolutely the dominant team here. And what more can you say? That's just a dub. That's a 3-0 sweep, and we got this one done in a hurry. That is a triumphant 3-0.
no, like, yeah, completely. Very, very enjoyable series to watch because I feel like it was, especially early game, it was very back and forth all 3 games. Especially the last game there, we saw Red Team actually managed to obtain a 2k gold lead very, very early on, but Blue Team managed to claw back, and there's skirmishes happening everywhere.
Skirmishes everywhere,
To see
but
some action, yeah, you know.
yeah, skirmishes everywhere, but it felt like it was a bit of an inevitability. Once you're playing that well, the game ended in 23 minutes. The whole series over in 2.5. You can't get much more definitive than that one as the block is going to come through. In the meantime, that is going to do it for us. Congratulations to the winner of the Quantex tournament. And just take a bow. I have been Sandbag. This has been Eric. Crimson Cyclist getting it done behind the camera. Thank you all so much for joining. Any party shots before we send them out and go get this wrapped up?
No, that's all good for me. Just really enjoyed watching these games and casting them, of course. But yeah.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining, and we will see you guys in the next one next time this runs around. GG's. Have a great rest of your night. Take care, folks.
Cheers, fellas.